Hello there, Ray here, and today guys, I'm going to show you a tiny iron farm. You can see it here. This is only 3 blocks by 3 blocks by 7 blocks tall, and it will produce the same amount of iron as most single cell iron farms, which is around 320 iron ingots per hour. Now a lot of this farm is very similar to my previous design, the small iron farm, but this one is compact even more. Now we have the main properties that are needed for iron golem to spawn. So we have the 3 villagers in the center, 3 workstations. We got one here, here, and here. We got 3 beds here, here, and over here. And we have the villagers being in the panic mode. And this comes from the zombie over here. So zombie is scaring them. Now for the iron golems to spawn, we need the villagers to be able to sleep at night, meaning that they have to not be able to see the zombie in order to be able to go to bed. And that's why they're bobbing in this water here. When they bob really high up in the air, they're unable to see the zombie. Therefore, they're able to go and sleep in their bed. So if I set it to night, you'll see the guys will bob high enough to be able to go into their bed. Now, another property of this iron farm is that they're able to produce iron during the nighttime as well. This is done by having the villagers being scared while also sleeping in the bed. You notice how this villager goes to bed, but then becomes scared because he can see the zombie once he is in bed. Now, you guys did have some concern about that they did some changes to the way villagers find their beds, and you thought they might be unable to find their beds unless they're directly on top of them, but they're still able to find their beds as long as they're somewhat close by to them. Now, for iron golems to also spawn, the villagers need to be able to work on their workstations at least once per day. So we set it to around 2,000 to see the guys are able to work in their workstation when they bob high enough. So when they go up really high, they're unable to see the zombie, and therefore they feel safe to work at their workstations, which are here, here, and over here. Now the final things they need for the iron golem farm to work is you need a spot for iron golems to actually spawn. We have this platform up above here, which allows the iron golems to spawn on top of it. And we also need a method to kill the iron golems. Otherwise, if there's an iron golem there, then the villagers will not produce another iron golem. So that's what this lava source is doing right over here. So when iron golem spawns in, they will be able to be in range of this lava, and this will cause them to burn. And then when they die, we also need to be able to collect their loot, otherwise it's not very useful. So we have a hopper minecart here which is going around picking up the items off the top and putting them down into this barrel down here. And that's all the main parts of this iron farm. As you can see, there's a lot of different things that need to occur, but it's all done in a very compact space here. Now because this iron farm is quite compact, it can be a bit difficult to get it set up properly. I'll show you guys how to do that. Now if you're looking just for a quick iron farm, I did do a video on this design over here, which is amazing if you're just looking for a quick and easy iron farm to set up. And as you can see, it works great and it's very simple and there's not much to it. You guys had a couple of questions about it. Now you can come in here and you can swap this out with a composter instead of a cauldron. And that will actually help you because some of you guys were saying that your villagers over here were trying to work in this workstation that was a cauldron over here. But if you convert this over into a composter, then it should be pretty easy to see if any of your villagers are farmers. And if they are, then you want to go ahead and make sure that they are using the cauldrons and not the composters. So to do that, you just want to remove this workstation until they found these workstations, and then you can put this one in. And the idea behind that is to make sure your villagers first find the workstations that are closest to them before adding any more into the area. Another thing you guys pointed out is that iron golems were spawning on top of this, and you can just avoid that by putting a button there. Now, if you would like to learn more about this iron farm, I will provide the link to the video that talks more about this iron farm down in the description. And I highly recommend that farm if you are looking for a quick and easy design to build up in your world. Another question you had is how far apart you should put these iron farms if you want to make multiple ones. And what you should do is put the villagers 10 blocks away from each other. So from this bed here, go out 10 blocks, and then you can build another one over here. So what you really could do is just take this whole farm and just paste it right beside it, and then they'll be far enough away so that they will work independently, producing their own iron golems. If you put them any closer than that, then they will not work as well as if they are spaced 10 blocks apart. And you guys can build these iron farms like underground, in the nether, or even in the end dimension. And some of you guys thought you couldn't build them in the nether just because there's like water streams here. That's okay, you can actually do it without the water streams. Water streams just try to help prevent iron golems from kind of sitting on the edges, but it is possible to do them in another dimension. You just have to find workarounds for them. Something like here where we have the water in the center, you're not able to get the water in the nether. But that doesn't mean that iron farms won't work in the nether, it just means you have to find a different way of doing it. Now this design here will work best if it's in the air or underground, and that's because there's no blocks nearby for the villagers to accidentally hop onto or this zombie to walk over onto as well. Now, if the farm is up here in the air, the iron golem can drop his ingots and kind of fall off to the side, so the hopper minecart won't be able to pick them up. Or if they end up on the very tippy corner, then they also won't be able to get picked up. So it's more efficient if you build it underground where the walls will actually prevent the items from falling outwards. I'll show you guys how to build this one up underground. So you can also stack these iron farms, so you can put them 10 blocks apart, up and down as well. So I'll just go directly underneath this iron farm and put it right down here in the ground. So let me clear out a 3x3x7 area. So just as before, I advised to build this somewhat close to a village. That way you can easily transport the villagers over here. Some of you guys are asking how to transport the villagers. You can stick them inside of boats and move them, or you can stick them like in a minecart and move them, or you can kind of lure them towards different places because they'll be attracted to beds as well as workstations. So if you remove all their beds and workstations from their village, then they'll come to any new ones that you place down kind of nearby. So at the very bottom here, what we're going to have is the water, and if you're building this up in the air, then you want the water to kind of be floating there, and that's what we'll have the trapdoor to do. It will prevent the water from flowing downwards. Then we'll have some beds like this, and we'll have a workstation over here, and then we'll have a end rod right over here to hold the zombie up. Now, if you don't want to use the end rod, since you have to go pretty much to the end dimension to get one of these, then you can also use 6 layers of snow, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that will also be high enough as the end rod that is on the side. Just that an end rod can float in place where snow layers cannot, and that's why I used it for that floating design up there. And over here, you want to have your barrel, and this will have a hopper putting into there. And over here, you want to have another workstation. I just use looms because they're quite cheap. You can kind of move the workstations around. I'll show you that in the end. If you want to limit the number of tile entities that you have, you can also use cauldrons. And then what you want to do is come around the edges here and just fill in the rest of the area with mostly top slabs. And then over here, we'll put a trapdoor as well as right here. Now it's time to get your villagers. So just lure your villagers over here and drop them down into here. And then you want to push them down inside of this area here. And once the villagers are in here and it turns nighttime, the villagers should be able to find the nearby beds. You can kind of help them by pushing them closer to beds, but they'll eventually find all the nearby beds. Then you can go ahead and close that up so that nothing else can go in there to get them. And notice how they also found their workstations. So they found this one, and this one. We got 2 guys that are working at the loom, and 1 guy over here who's working as a fisherman with the barrel over here. Now when they come out of the beds, they should automatically end up right over here. Now you want to put in a trapdoor right over here. You kind of have to angle it just so it opens up and does this. And over here where this slab is, this actually needs to be a piston that is facing downwards, so just like that. And this piston is what is used to prevent the villagers from seeing the zombie at some point when they're hopping up and down in the water. Now at night, you'll get a lot of zombies that'll try to jump into your pit, trying to get to your villagers. And what you can do is you can throw some items on the ground. And what you're looking for is a zombie that will pick up items. Otherwise, if you can't find one to pick up items, you can always go ahead and name one with a name tag so they don't despawn. And once you have a zombie that's holding an item or else's name tag, then you'll just want to drop them down into this area down here. So you want to have a trapdoors like this so that when he falls in, you want to kind of push him so that he is directly in the center. And that's pretty important because otherwise he won't properly see the villagers at some point in time. So if I stand like over here and if I was like in survival mode, you see that the zombie is trying to get to me and you can see he fell down into the hole. You can always do like F3 plus B to kind of see that he is aligned in the center. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and close this and then he shouldn't really move around in there anymore. And in the center here, we'll have a redstone torch, and that's going to power this piston here, which is going to open it up. This will give the proper angle so that this zombie's eye line, which is the red line right here, can sometimes see the village's red line when they're bobbing down into the water. But it will also allow them to sometimes not see each other, just because the villagers are bobbing up and down. Then once that's powered, you go ahead and fill the corners in with normal rails. Then the other sides can be put in with power rails. Now once you do have the zombie in place, you want to make sure you always have some blocks above him so the sun doesn't burn him up. And then the next thing you'll want to do is put a block above here and fill this whole area in, and this will also protect the zombie from now on, so you can remove any extra blocks you put in. And these are the blocks where we're going to have the iron golem spawn on top of. And then you can come in and put in your hopper minecart and push it to get it started, go around in circles. If you want to, you can always put in trapdoors here as well, because iron golems will spawn on top of those. Then we just need to put something in to hold the lava, so at this level here, we're going to put in some trapdoors all the way around. And you want to just make sure there's one gap of air around here, that way the golem will spawn in. And then underneath of this, we just want to put a trapdoor right here. That will hold the lava from falling down to the center. And you could open this trapdoor. That will allow so any iron ingots that kind of fall off to the side can fall down into the center there, and they will also get picked up by the hopper minecart. Now you can just come in with your lava and put it on top of the trapdoor. You can open it back up if you want to. And the lava should stay there because it's being held in by these trapdoors, and trapdoors do not burn from lava. Now you can remove any blocks you had above it. It really doesn't matter if it's covered or not, so you can actually have this whole thing covered completely up so nobody can see it. You just want to make sure you don't put blocks too low, otherwise the iron golems won't spawn down here. Now before the iron farm will actually start up, you have to wait at least 20 to 30 minutes. The reason for this is that the villagers have to work in the workstation, which they'll do kind of during the early parts of the day. Plus they also have to go to sleep. Now I'm running Fax's data packs, so I can actually show you guys this in creative. So if I run this function, this will allow us to see the villagers have been working and sleeping. We can see the last time they have done both of those. So if I just enter, it puts their information above their heads here. And you can see that there is something called sleep and some numbers after, and something called work and some numbers after it. And those numbers are just showing the amount of time that has went past since they have went to bed or since they have went to work. So if I set it to night, the guys will be able to go to bed, and this will reset their sleeping. So if you look at this guy like over here, it just reset his sleeping, so it's a small number now. And if it sets the time to 2000, which is when they start working in the workstation, you can hear that they just went to work, and that's the kind of noise they make. And this will also reset their work number. And there you guys can see the iron golem has spawned in underneath here. And even though this was solid blocks on the side, he just spawned in. And when he dies, his iron ingots will fall down, get picked up by the top minecart. They'll all end up down here, right here. Now sometimes I have problems with having the workstation up here at the same level as the rails. It's probably best just to put them down here kind of at their waist level. So I moved that loom that was up here just to down here. But you can also put them like over here or like on top of this bed here. This data pack is really useful to kind of test your iron golem farms. You guys can find the link to this in our mods and tools channel on the ProtoTech community Discord. And of course, if you want to get over here to your iron, you can just build a ladder system. You go from where you have this chest down here, and you can just make a ladder system that goes all the way up to the surface. So you can get down and get your iron. That's pretty much all there is to it, guys. I will provide the world download to this. If you have any questions, be sure to go ahead and check out the world download. And that way you can see if you did something different than what is here on the world. Because we know the design here on the world works, that way you can also get your design to work on how that design as well as this design here. I really hope you guys liked this design. It was a lot of fun to build this up. Now we did build this up during our snapshot streams, which are every Wednesday as well as Friday. And it's usually around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for our Friday streams, we're going to go ahead and try to stream a little bit earlier. That way Europeans can also join the stream. I really have a lot of fun designing new farms with you guys, as we do open up a server for you guys to join us during our building. Big thanks to Techman88, came up with the original idea of having the villagers bobbing in the water so that they would not see the zombie at some point in time. And he made quite a few cool iron farm designs during their streams, and hopefully he'll make some videos about them. But he does have some other cool technical Minecraft videos, and you can check out his channel down below as well. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and give it a like, as well as share this video with someone else that you think will also enjoy this iron farm design. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and I would really appreciate it. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!